What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back. Thank you very much for tuning in. Very glad to be speaking to you guys once again. And I just wanted to hop on the mic today. You know, it's a nice weekend day right now. You know, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, but I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you're at, whatever's going on in your life. And hope we can just, chat and relax real quick. So I wanted to give you guys my perspective on something, and that's the idea of letting things go, right? Because so many of us, right, me included, struggle with letting things go. And it basically allows for our past to dictate our future, which you don't want to do, right? Because obviously, everyone has great memories, and, everyone also has some bad memories, right? And all of that stuff comes from the past, right? Those are versions of yourself that you have evolved from over time, right? And the reason why this is so important is because if you let your past define you, you will never evolve. You'll never develop into that person that you really want to be, right? You can't let something that happened in the past affect how you move going forward, right? And I want to make sure that this is very clear, because when I say that, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't, learn from your mistakes, and that you shouldn't, move differently based on, a result that you got doing something in the past. That's not really what I'm talking about, right? Obviously, you should learn from your mistakes, and that should dictate how you're going to proceed in similar situations in the future. What I'm trying to say specifically is, if someone called you a name, right, or tried to clown you when you were in middle school, and you're 35 still thinking about it, that's a problem, right? Like, you can't let stuff like that happen, because if you, everyone goes through some stuff where, people tell them that they don't like this about them, or, they bully them or whatever. That happened to me when I was a kid, right? People used to make fun of me and, call me names, point out things that I couldn't change about myself, make fun of, my facial features, this, that, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But if I still, to this day was sitting on that thought, oh yeah, I'm never going to be shit because, this dude when I was 12, made fun of my eyebrows, or, I'm never going to be shit because, when I was 15, this girl told me that I was ugly or something, right? You just can't let things like that fester, right? Because at the end of the day, who cares, right? And the thing that I've learned is that if people have to go out of their way to clown you and make you feel bad, it usually just means that they feel pretty bad about themselves, right? And I know people have probably said that to you before. People used to say it to me all the time, and I was like, well, that doesn't really change how I feel. I look at that way differently now, because now I'm I'm an adult, I'm older, I'm in my 20s, and I do truly understand what people were trying to tell me back then now. If someone's bullying you or something, it's because they feel insecure and they need to belittle you to feel like they're, better, or they're cooler or whatever, right? So you just have to understand that if someone is trying to clown you, the best thing you can do is just laugh it off, right? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are really losing in the situation. Because if you don't allow them to get to you and, allow for them to really hurt your perception of yourself and hurt how you feel about yourself, you win, right? Because what is this person doing clowning you, right? They have nothing better to do with their lives? Exactly. So that's why it's so important to not let things like that bother you, right? And I see people do this all the time. My friends will, have girlfriends, and, they break up, and they'll get into a fight right before they break up, and, they'll just, linger on certain things that happened in their relationship, and it basically hurts them from getting into a relationship in the future. So there's a lot of examples I could use with this, right? But I do feel like it's super important, because there's been times where I've literally woken up and I'll just be in a bad mood, and I start thinking about something that happened to me 4 years ago, And I'm like, yeah, man, like I'm never gonna be shit because, 4 years ago, someone told me I didn't know how to change a tire. Like who gives a fuck about all that stuff? You know what I mean? And that didn't actually happen. That's just like, it's a very random example. But I just hope you guys understand that just because something happened in the past, or you did something that you're not proud of, or you feel ashamed about something, let it go. Just let it go. You have to learn to forgive yourself. You have to learn to forgive other people, even when you don't necessarily want to, right? Like, forgive those people that used to clown you when you were in middle school or high school, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are suffering, not you. So if you forgive them, that's helping you. It's not necessarily helping them. It's just, I'm not going to let this person hold that, hold that emotional hold over me, right? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with our stuff. If you did stuff in the past where you feel ashamed about it, let it go. Because if you're not doing it anymore, whatever, you resolved that. You've grown, right? You have to be happy with progress and growing, right? That's another big thing that I've learned throughout my life is I used to give myself timelines. Like, I have to be doing this by this time, and if I'm not, I'm a loser and I suck and whatever. Like, that's not what it is, dude. Like, you got to wake up every day and just be okay with the fact that you're going to make progress that day. You're going to be, 1% closer to your goals being accomplished after that day ends, right? Like, that's what you have to focus on. So block out all the noise. Understand that the hardest thing in life, honestly, is to let things go, but it's also going to give you so much power, and it's just going to make your mental health so much better. So try thinking about this a little bit. Try to think about if there's things that you are just holding on to that you don't need to in your head, and just think it through. Meditate on it and understand that, you got to forgive yourself, you got to forgive other people, and it's going to allow you to move through life feeling so much better, and just it'll let you breathe easy, breathe deeper, all that stuff. So that's all I got, guys. I'm going to check you later, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble. I love you all. Handle business, stand on business. Peace out.